Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be reading The Mysteries of the Throne, the Cave, and the Labyrinth, which corresponds to Chapter 12 of The Great Cosmic Mother by Monica Saju and Barbara Moore. To return to our beginnings, all religion is about the mystery of creation. If the mystery of birth is the origin of religion, it is to the woman that we must look for the phenomenon that first made her aware of the unseen power. Primeval woman, like the animals, probably first knew she was pregnant when she first felt the first movement within her, at the quickening. She was not aware of the male's part in conception, nor of the moment of inception of pregnancy. Of course, she would notice breast swelling, perhaps nausea. But doubtless she would understand this first quickening movement as the beginning of the process leading to birth. Among people worldwide who believed that a woman is impregnated by the spirits or by the wind, this first movement would be kinetic announcement of the entrance of the new spirit being into her body. Woman's awe at her capacity to create life is the basis of mystery. Earliest religious images show pregnancy rather than birth and nurturing as the numinous or magical state. Numerous Paleolithic figurines of women representing the pregnant goddess go back over 300,000 years. It's not until the middle Neolithic, circa 6,000 to 5,000 BC, that figurines of the Great Mother holding a child appear. These are fascinating figures from Kital Hayuk and Hassalar in the region of modern Turkey. The first carved in gray-green schist shows the goddess as two female bodies, back to back, one nursing an infant and the other embracing a lover. The Hassalar clay statuette shows a nursing male child with his genitals near the mother's vulva. In both statues, the female is larger than the male. Both show the beginnings within the Great Mother religion of a companion worship of a young male who is both her son and her lover. For many Neolithic centuries, this son lover of the great goddess is the only thing approaching a male god to be found. And, coupled with the mother, it remained a central image in later Near Eastern religions. Isis and the child, Horus in Egypt, Mary with both the newborn and the dead Jesus in her arms. In pre-dynastic Egypt, the goddess of the woman was Ta-Urt, the Great One, who was imagined as a pregnant hippopotamus standing on its hind legs. Figures of Ta-Urt are amongst the earliest of Egyptian amulets, and her worship continued until the coming of Christianity, and probably secretly amongst the women for centuries after. Christian and other patriarchal priesthoods have never been any help to women in the great female experiences of menstruation, pregnancy, childbirth, and nursing. Clearly, the pregnant goddess of the Cro-Magnon caves, Ta-Urt, and later goddesses of pregnancy and birth were shaped out of women's needs and experiences and beliefs. This is the original transformation mystery, primordial birth in which we struggle alone, facing death and pain in order to create life within the cosmic womb of the unknown. Only women are ever truly alone, as the universe is alone with herself. And birth is the supreme paradox of aloneness. When a woman in sweating and groaning solitude brings forth the continuity of human life, men can only imitate this experience by participating in the goddess mysteries of rebirth in the sacred caves. And in fact, worldwide, men's original rituals were imitations of the female mysteries of menstruation and childbirth. Images of the pregnant goddess were also found in the excavations of Tel Haraf, dating from 5000 BC. This goddess is shown sitting in the earth, embodying the earth that belongs to her. In ritual custom to sit on something that has symbolic meaning of taking possession. In later matriarchal times, she was the throne. The throne symbolized her lap. The queen came to power by sitting on the lap or womb of the goddess, and so became one with her power. Among the Ashanti of West Africa, there was a cult of the throne, and giant throne replicas have been found in the Ashanti graves. The Black Goddess was worshipped throughout the Ashanti territory. All the great mountains were seen as the goddess sitting on the earth. The mountain was the original throne womb. It combines symbols of earth, cave, bulk, height, and immortality. In the towering mountain overlooking the land is embodied the enormous strength of the goddess. Throughout Thracian, Macedonian, Greek, and Cretan lands are mountains with huge thrones at their summits, carved laboriously from the rock. These are the empty thrones waiting for the goddess to take her seat. This custom was taken by later patriarchal kings. To be enthroned is to be empowered, i.e., to receive the power of the Great Mother and her mandate to rule. This is why Egyptian paintings and statues depict the small mortal king sitting on the throne lap of the huge goddess Isis. In this way, the king was reborn or made immortal, thereby given the sacred power to rule over the people. He had true power only as her son. The cave as the womb of the earth goddess was considered by the ancients to be the repository of mystic influences. In the original cosmology, a cave was the symbol of the whole world, providing passage for the dead and for the rebirth of souls. Many tribal people today still hold the belief that their first mythic ancestors emerged from the caverns or mounds of the earth. The cave was the home for our Ice Age ancestors when they were making the transition from hominids to Homo sapiens. Paleolithic caves were the matrix of internalized consciousness, womb-like, skull-like, tomb-like. Animal souls were believed to live in the dark, echoing caverns. This is where one went to commune with the deepest, most resonant and awesome powers. The wall paintings of animals and humans and the innermost sanctuaries could only be reached with great difficulty, along winding paths, narrow ledges, slippery and dangerous passages, often crawling on hands and knees. These were the narrow winding passages of birth and rebirth. I am the way and the life. This was primordial revelation of the Great Mother. As G. Rachel Levy observes, early people conceived the divine body as the road traveled by itself and its seeker. The Great Mother was the body of life. She was also the way that must be traveled to realize life. It was in the spiral or labyrinth that the way had to be danced or walked. In all the rites of the mother throughout the ages and the world, the way was always connected with the cave womb and a maze-like spiraling entrance and exit. Labyrinths situated at cave entrances are always presided over by the mythical woman. Among ancient Cretans, as among present-day Hopis in the American Southwest, the earth womb is depicted as a maze, and the mythic place of emergence of the whole people and the individual soul is called the place of birth or rebirth. Visually, the Cretan maze womb and Hopi maze womb are identical. In Hindu traditions, both evolutions of the brain and the eightfold stages of the mind, the manas, are identified with the winding spiral from the labyrinth. A labyrinth both creates and protects the still center, the heart, allowing entry only to the initiated. Before larger knowledge is revealed, only preconceptions must be dissolved by the psychic and ecstatic re-entry into the original cosmic womb cave of the mother. The pathways between the two worlds were trodden by humans in magic dances and rituals. Perhaps the human collective actually generated as well as absorbed the life forces of the goddess in these rites, since the roads taken by the divine power are themselves currents of energy. Among hunting and gathering peoples, the shamans still go to caves to experience visions, dreams, and spiritual rebirth, and to gain healing powers through resonant communion with the dead. The dead are especially sacred to the goddess, since they directly partake of her being. Spirits awaiting rebirth through her physical manifestations. The similar bull roar still in use among Aboriginal people produces the terrible whirring sounds of the spiral, the strange whirlwind of passage between the two worlds. Extremely complex ideas were expressed through the symbol of the labyrinth. First, the initiate had to go find find the way through the underworld, the womb of the mother, going through symbolic death to be reborn again through her on a larger psychic level. Simultaneously, by dancing the winding and unwinding spiral, the initiate reached back to the still heart of the cosmos, and so immortality in her. The dance would still be combined with sexual rites and the taking of some hallucinogen, like a legendary soma. And the resulting illumination of soma and self were experienced as one with the cosmic self in the orgasmic ego death. The ecstatic center of the labyrinth was the no-mind center of orgasm experienced as death, creative madness, and loss of the conditioned self. Sexual magic was not practiced for the sake of fertility, especially in early times when no necessary connection was seen between the two. Sexual magic was practiced for the sake of ecstatic self-transcendence, a sexual spiritual fusion of the human with the cosmic all. Prana, or life current, in mystic Indian thought, is interrelated with sexual energy and can be directed by breathing techniques. Mind and breath united and rhythmically directed towards a chosen goal is the basis for sexual magic. Breath, air, is linked with the mind, the creatrix of ideas. They are experienced as identical. The breath, prana, is used by the yogi to compel the upward surge of kundalini, the sleeping serpent at the base of the spine, the sexual chakra. Kundalini, the serpent power, is dormant cosmic fire, and chi, activated through controlled and concentrated breath, rises through the 6 lotuses or body centers, chakras, to unite in the 7th highest center with pure consciousness, samadhi. With this union, liberation is attained, which is true nature and union with cosmic self. Kundalini, the mystic fire, is also expressed sexually, as in tantric yoga. And there is the awakening of great magic power, which is the Shakti Kundalini, the cosmic movement, which is Shakti, and her movement in the human body, which is Kundalini, their ultimate union bringing great power, the internally spiraling serpent force through which is experienced cosmic timelessness. In Tibetan mystery schools, the breath plays a vital part in the process of dying. If consciousness is retained to the last, through proper knowledge and concentration, then the breath or soul passes over consciously to the after death of the organism. There is similar thought in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, based on the mysteries of Isis and Osiris. Consciousness must be retained to and through the moment of death to enable the soul to take its path, the way through the underworld. Concentrated unity of the psyche brings release from the power of death. The same method appears in The Secret of the Golden Flower, a Chinese book deriving from ancient matriarchal Taoist ideas. Jungians pay respect to these mystic and symbolic perceptions of ancient peoples, but still fear the female realms. This Western rationalist prejudice and fear distorts Jungian commentary on the timeless ritual transformations of the labyrinth. In all cultures, the labyrinth has the meaning of entangling and confusing representations of the world of matriarchal consciousness. It can be traversed only by those that are ready for special initiation into the mysterious world of the collective unconsciousness. In Indian mystic symbolism, the multiplicity of this world is shown by the interpenetration of the upward male triangles, phallic, and the downward female triangles, vulva, the ascending and descending vortices of creative energy. This vulva image, the descending triangle, which signifies cosmic energy spiraling down into manifestation through matter, is a very ancient symbol. It has been found in Paleolithic caves, inscribed on stone blocks laying face downwards on the ground, and within engraved stone circles in the cavern's depths. Ancient people believed that power resided in the images themselves, or rather, in the resonance between the image and the thing imagined. And this belief still lives in all of us. Symbols continue to have great power over the human mind and heart. Contemporary hunter and gatherer people, such as the Australian Aborigines, maintain connections with mythical ancestors by tracing sacred paintings and dreamtime maps, on the walls of secret caves. We can imagine that ancient women gained cosmic energy by touching and tracing the sacred vulva sign of the great goddess, just as initiates gained the power and insights of ecstatic death and rebirth by tracing and retracing the sacred spirals of the labyrinth, the womb-tomb maze of the great Earth Mother.